Hello, listeners. It's Allison Creamer with Keller Williams Realty. I'm a local realtor here in Virginia Beach. I service all the major cities of Hampton Roads. This podcast is just giving you some insight to being a realtor here in the area and guests that help us achieve our goals, as well as help us through the process of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. I hope you enjoy today's episode. We're at the Daily Grind today, and we are doing a podcast with somebody who has nothing to do with real estate, absolutely nothing to do with real estate, but the reason why this gentleman is on the podcast today is because he obviously has extreme dedication, sacrifice, dreams, goals, and has accomplished quite a bit that many people only wish they had. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how odd your industry can actually reflect over to somebody who might be buying a house, and we'll elaborate on that in a minute. So go ahead and explain who you are.
Okay, well, my name is Antwain Britt. I am a retired, former, whatever you want to call it, mixed martial arts fighter. Fought professionally for the UFC, Strike Force, and basically all over the world. And
so
now,
you're one of those good bad guys, right?
Yeah. Well, I try to be. It's definitely one of those things you kind of have to be a little bit crazy to want to do, like the need.
Yeah, who wants to get hit? I don't.
Punched in the face on a regular basis. But, I loved it. And when I went into it, it wasn't my intention to become a profession, but I just kind of kept riding the horse until it took me to, where I wanted to go. The
passion grew over time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When I initially got into it, I did it just to lose weight. I was about 320 pounds. I was very unhealthy.
Yeah.
I was an athlete in high school and in college and dropped out of college and just put on a ton of weight. And, I just wanted an outlet to lose weight.
Circumstances of life just started getting you down.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
You decided not going to happen. So I, in doing a little bit of research, I found a name, which I have no idea what it even means, but you actually have a title called The Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that and where that comes from.
Well, The Juggernaut is like this comic book character that, as a fighter, you try to find as much interest in other things as you can. And comic books and cars and stuff like that was one of mine. And my coach actually gave me that name. In my fight career, I was known as the guy who, first round knockouts, very explosive. I think all my amateur fights were first round knockouts. And my coach I came out of the cage after my third amateur fight, and someone said, "Man, you need to put that guy on the chain. He's aggressive. He's like an animal in there." And my coach just gave me the name, The Juggernaut.
And it looks like monster. It's stuck. And how many years ago was that?
That was back in 2006. So
it's
that's
been about 10 years, a decade,
years ago.
Known as The Juggernaut.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Uh-oh.
Getting up there.
Uh-oh. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about, going from the high to the plateau and some other passions that you are obviously have a lot to do with these days. So tell me a little bit about where you grew up. Are you from Hampton Roads?
Born and raised in Hampton Roads. Went to Indian River High School and then went to Old Dominion after I graduated in the South Norfolk area of Chesapeake. So I've been in Hampton Roads basically all my life.
You're a hometown boy.
I'm a hometown boy. Yeah, born and raised.
So has this life path taken you to other areas? Do you travel doing this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before I started fighting, I had been out of the state one time, across country, on a plane. Let's say on a plane. I had been on a plane one time. I went to Vegas with a buddy and never really had any ambition to, get out. I was happy in my little box, in my little bubble. And when I started fighting, it gave me the opportunity to and see. I've seen the world now, so it's very fortunate.
That's awesome.
Huge stretch from where I was.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I have you on the podcast today is because as a real estate agent, some people think that buying a house or getting into that is almost an unattainable goal, that it's just so overwhelming and so big that maybe they'll never be able to do it. And what I like about what you said was, you had some pain that led you to a decision, and then from there you had to make a commitment. And that commitment resulted in some wonderful rewards in your life. So we talked a little bit about how you got into this, but how long did it take? How much sacrifice? How much time did it take before you started to see results?
Oh, man, well, it took years, and like I said, I started out at 320, and I was a fat kid. I wasn't like a ripped 320-pound guy. So going into the gym and just telling the coach, I like this MMA stuff. I just kind of want to get in shape, and the UFC stuff is cool and see where it goes. And 3 months later, I worked 4 hours a day, in the gym, and that was on top of me having a 12-hour a day job. So I worked for Cox Cable. I would go to work at 7 a.m., get off at 7 p.m., and be at the gym by 7:15, and I was there until 10 p.m. And that was the flow of life for years, until I went pro and I got to the point where I could make enough money where I didn't have to work a 9 to 5 anymore. So and it was rough, man. It was, you're exhausted. You work 12 hours and you do that all day. And with a cable guy, you're like crawling under people's houses and up in people's attics, and it's just nothing sexy about that job. And
but sacrifice and commitment, no matter how hard it was, you had this vision of either a healthy body, which then started turning into, wait a minute, I can actually make this a career. So. Yeah. I'm tying in, I know it's crazy to tie real estate into that, but I have so many people who say, I just need to save that down payment.
Yeah.
Well, come on, people. That's like $6,000. That can be done in a year if, with a little bit of lifestyle change, but you committed for years. I mean, physical hard work to get where you are today.
Yeah, exactly. And they do connect because, I went through the process of, buying a home, and it was a little bit harder for me because, not having a 9 to 5, I'm like basically self-employed, and it's always going to be a little harder for someone who is self-employed, from my experience, to buy a home, as far as paper trail. And it was definitely difficult trying to live a certain lifestyle and try to accomplish a goal and follow a dream, but at the same time, there's always like small roadblocks, and you have to kind of change direction as far as the day-to-day life stuff, buying a home, buying a car, taking care of the kids, taking care of the family. So
well, now that you're in a better place, you obviously probably have a home, and now you're creating a good name for yourself, you're building on your brand, you're branching out. Was the sacrifice worth it?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't imagine doing it any other way. I mean, I am in a position now where I was able to buy a home, and the juice was worth the squeeze.
That's good.
So you got to just work towards a goal, and sometimes you can. On the day-to-day, you look and say, man, am I ever going to be able to do X, Y, and Z? Or am I going to get that house, get that car? Am I ever going to be financially stable?
That healthy? Will I ever know how to eat right? Will I ever make exercise a commitment?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's one step at a time.
One step at a time. And it is hard. You're going to have those days where that piece of chocolate cake looks fantastic. And
Hush now. You're speaking my language.
I still have those days, and it's no one's perfect. So if you can sort of, try to commit to a lifestyle. And I always tell my clients, 30 days. Give yourself 30 days. Whatever you can do for 30, you can do for 60. Whatever you can do for 60, you can do for 90. And just continue to take it day by day and live that lifestyle.
Control those cheat days. Don't let the cheat days control you.
Exactly. Have a little bit of self-control, and with that self-control, the reward will come.
So tell me a little bit about, I found some things online that you're into locally. You have basically some promotions going on. Maybe people can try you out, see, because now you're into coaching and you're into helping other people get into, whether it be weight loss or the dream or, self-confidence. So tell me a little bit about some of the other things that you're into right now.
Yeah, well, my personal training company is called Britt's Personal Training and Self-Defense. We focus on weight loss, functional movement, strength training through the fighting aspect, learning how to hit pass, learning mobility, learning how to kickbox and box.
A little more
grapple.
fun than just weightlifting and going on a circuit.
Absolutely. It's definitely more unconventional than going to the gym and running on a treadmill. A lot more fun. The benefits are a lot faster, and my clients are losing between 1 to 4 pounds a week. They're having a great time, and with increased mobility, increased strength, and my clients range from 60 years old to 14 years old. So
nice. So you work with kids too?
Absolutely, I work with kids, and I think it's important for kids to know how to defend themselves, not just for the fighting aspect, but for the self-confidence aspect as well.
Well, in any industry, if you have confidence, you rise more to the leader of the pack rather than somebody who is mousy and just kind of sits back and takes it. So you're training young leaders that don't have to hit, but they have the confidence to stand up and say, no, this is not the way it's going to happen. Absolutely.
Just knowing that you have those tools in your belt gives you the confidence that you need to take on like a numerous task and,
So you also said you have some charitable work that you're involved in, and you have a passion for, training women to take care of themselves.
Yes, I do.
Wait a minute. Men and women. I need to say that because men get kind of shoved off to the back, and quite frankly, it's probably not fair to put women in that category, but self-defense training, domestic violence.
For sure, absolutely. And I feel like everyone needs to know how to defend themselves, but my organization does focus on the prevention of domestic violence towards women through that self-defense training. So it does give women the opportunity to learn those basic self-defense techniques that they need to possibly save their lives one day. And we always hope things like that never happen. But the reality is that, they do happen, and we do live in a society where things like this are reality. So we want to be as prepared as possible.
We bring that up, and there's been several articles about real estate agents, being murdered and taken. And so just having, now you're in my back pocket, Antwain. Maybe we'll have to think about that.
Yeah, I was reading, I read a story here, recently about an agent that, unfortunately, she wasn't hurt, but she was robbed at a showing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's important to know, even if it's a situation to where, you just want to give that person up and get out of the situation unscathed, it's important to know that if this happened, what do I do here? Yeah. If that happened, what do I do here? So.
Absolutely. So I want to give you an opportunity to tell people how they can contact you. Now, we're going to have all of this written in the blog side of it. So if you are on iTunes and you're listening, you're still going to be able to go to the blog, be able to get your full name, your company, your Facebook address. What is the best way that people can reach you if they want to take some self-defense classes?
I'm all over social media. Facebook, we'll start with Facebook. You can find me at Antwain Britt on Facebook. Pretty easy to find, Antwain. My mom spelled my name kind of weird, so not the normal Antwain spelling, but find me there. Britt Fit Zone on Twitter, or VA Juggernaut on Instagram. So.
And then a phone number?
And phone number is 757-647-8736. And you can contact me for pretty much any reason. If you just want to say hello, you can contact me and say
that. I think you should just call him and say hello. Or send him a hands up, a high five on Twitter. So
no telemarketers.
no soliciting. Antwain, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's nice to see somebody take what started out as pain, decided to make a decision, and then just ran with it and made a career, and now is helping other people. So that's really what I feel like, this podcast and getting to know you is, promoting you to help you grow to the next level. But I think some people can get some insight on, it takes sacrifice, it takes a little bit of time, but they just need to hang in there.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.